Hello, it's Dr. Edward, the Healing Vet. I'm really excited to be back again for these weekly sessions after a little bit of time off while I was traveling overseas. And today, I want to talk about recovery and rebuilding. Now, international travel is kind of hard on the body. Um, you know, 2 trips of 30 hours from door to door, lots of hours on a crowded plane, low oxygen, loud noise, strange places, strange food, strange beds, artificial fragrances, all these things which have, though I've came back and got back into the time zone, think pretty well. I've had a week of not feeling quite as sparky and bouncy as I normally do. Tired, grumpy body. And it can be all too easy when you have something happen which sets you back a bit, which makes your body not feel right, your mind not feel right, your emotions not feel right. It can be kind of easy to collapse in a heap and not do anything much and just go, I don't feel so good, so I'm just going to rest. Now, rest is an important part of recovery and rebuilding after any of these challenges and setbacks, these things that are inevitable parts of human life. You can't escape them. They're always going to have small and large things happen that set you back in one way or another, whether you get a little bit of a cold that makes you unwell for a few days, or you get a major illness, or you get your finger broken by your horse, or you have some kind of bereavement, loss, this, that, or the other. So recovery and rebuilding is something that I believe we need to practice, that we need to do regularly, so that then if we do have something big happen, we've got some chops up when it comes to recovery and rebuilding, because it's an incredibly important thing if you want to build a healthy life for yourself and your pets, if you want to maintain momentum of well-being in your business, in your relationships, all these things. The better you are at the process of recovery and rebuilding after you get setbacks, whether they're small or large, the better everything is for you and your family and your pets. So when I got back last Thursday morning, the alarm went off. It would have been very, very easy just to stay in bed and not to get up and do my self-care practice, my exercise, my process of recovery and rebuilding what I needed to recover from and rebuild after 30 hours on an airplane. So this last week, I have been tired. I have been grumpy. My body has not really had the energy levels that I would like it to have. And every morning I've got up and I've done my exercises, my qigong, my meditation, all these things. I've got up when the alarm goes off. And I have also taken time to rest. I've made sure I've got to bed earlier. I've made sure that I've eaten well. I've made sure that I've had plenty of time to cuddle my dogs and cat who've missed me while I've been away. All of these things are part of the process of me continually training for recovery and rebuilding. You know, if I'm doing life and I tweak my shoulder, I don't use that as an excuse to stop my morning exercise. What I do then is I'll modify my morning exercise and do different kinds of exercise that I can still do without hurting my shoulder while my shoulder heals. And I just keep sticking at it. Now, the better you, the human, get at recovery and rebuilding, the more you can support your pets in recovery and rebuilding when they have something go amiss, when they have an injury, when you have to take them to the vet to have desexing or whatever. The more you are healthy and well in your life, the more you can support your pets in being healthy and well in your life. And the more that you are good at recovery and rebuilding when something goes down that upsets the apple cart of you or your animals, the more you're going to be able to help your animals in their recovery and rebuilding process. You know, maybe you've got 2 dogs and they're bestie friends, and then one of the other dogs passes away suddenly. Well, you know, you're going to have a bereavement and your dog's going to have a bereavement. So you're going to have to stick with your self-care and your process of recovery and rebuilding with your grief. But at the same time, you got to show up and helping your animals. And the best way that I've found to do this for myself in my life is that I am really continually training in rebuilding and recovering. I do my exercise on Monday morning, and I do them to the point where I have a bit of sore muscles on the next day. So I'm actually in recovery and rebuilding from my self-care or my exercise. And maybe I have a really big day of work. So I end up the next day, I have to be recovering and rebuilding because I've had extra demands, extra long day, lots of hours on the road or whatever. So I'm hoping to inspire you to think of this process of recovery and rebuilding as something that you should be actively engaged in, day out, week in, week out, and really think of it as training. Think of it as if you have these smaller things that you have the opportunity to practice recovery and rebuilding from, then if something big blows up, you'll kind of have this fitness and strength in your processes of recovery and rebuilding. That means you'll be able to move through the process of a major need to recover and rebuild in your life or with your pets in a much better way. And this, while it doesn't seem, it's not a thing that's kind of obvious in terms of how it affects your pets. The more resilient you are, the better your pet's life is. Absolutely guaranteed. And if you really give a strong focus in your life to the processes of recovery and rebuilding with little things like just a bad night's sleep or having a flat tire, even little things that upset you during the day, how quickly can you recover and rebuild from someone being unpleasant, someone driving too close behind you on the road, or just these little things, even these little emotional things. The more resilient you become, the quicker you rebuild, the quicker you recover from things, the happier and healthier your beautiful pets are going to be. So that's that for this week. Thanks so much for listening. Please do let me know in the chat what you thought of it. You can follow us on the channels or join our Facebook page. Until next week, have a beautiful week with your pets and give them a pat from me.